Hey, welcome gamers to episode 2 of season 3. This is ActRaiser, a sim action-adventure game based on Judeo-Christian themes and morals. ActRaiser also marks my 80th review. Well, let's get things started out right, shall we folks? It's time for the story for this game. ActRaiser is another of many good versus evil themed games, and this story takes place long, long ago. A short time has passed after the creation of Earth and man. However, up in heavens, it's all but peaceful. A great war was being waged. The Master and his angels fought to throw Satan and his demons out of heaven. The Master succeeded in casting the devil out from heaven, but was wounded and had to seal himself away from his creation. During this time, the Evil One divided the land up into 6 parts, and chaos reigned throughout the earth. Concept for this game. The player must guide the Master throughout the world, slaying the many demons, until finally facing the devil himself and sending him back to Tartarus. If you think that's all the game has to offer, then you would of course be wrong. ActRaiser is essentially 2 games in one. It turns out that the Master has finally recovered from his war against the Evil One and is ready to save the world now. An angel greets you and gives you the lowdown on the situation of the world and how bad things have been since you've been sleeping. When the player is first introduced to ActRaiser, you think of it as a Castlevania clone of sorts. Trust me, that's not a bad thing either. Then after facing numerous foes, one after the other, and fighting the Centaur boss and promptly defeating him and patting yourself on the back, the player is awaiting to be thrust into another fun side-scrolling level when lo and behold, the players plunge into a sim-like experience from the Master's perspective. Bet you didn't see that coming. Oh, you did? Sure. There you have to perform acts of God and listen to your people. After hearing the grumblings of your people, eventually they will ask you to free them from a great demon. If you don't free your people, then your civilization won't grow and multiply, which it has to in order for you to win. Plus, get used to this because it's a rinse and repeat process. Still, with all the people's whining, "Oh Master, save us from the Great Plague," or "Show mercy and save us from the volcano before it erupts and destroys us all," it's times like these when, "Where is the flood the whole earth? Maybe then they'll listen to me" button. So in short, the concept is build your cities, listen to your people, and destroy demons. Alright, time for the controls for this game. Just so everyone knows, this is for the Wii Classic controller. Now the Master moves with the command cross or the gamepad, you attack with the Y button, and you jump heroically with the B button. And that's it for the most part. I really do enjoy the side-scrolling action-adventure acts a lot. The gameplay is great and responsive, and I have no issues with it that I can think of. Using magic, once you have any, is done by pressing the X button. Now the Sims elements are a little bit different, but nothing too hair-raising at the moment, that I can think of anyway. In order to use Acts of God, use the A button. For review purposes, we're using sunlight. In order to use the sunlight, press the A button. Simple, right? Anywho, the angel is moved with the command cross and attacks with the Y button. What's great about this game is you can see the spiritual war between heaven and hell, yet people can't see anything at all. I mean, what would you do if you saw a naked angel flying around with a bow and arrow aimed at you? Don't know about you, but I would run, panicking all the way. ActRaiser allows you to multitask, so while you're building your city at the same time, your angel is defending your people from harm's way. It's actually pretty cool and gives you something to do while you wait for the populace to grow, or you can do another popular thing, take a nap. Or not. Time for the design for this game. What can I say about this game's design? Well, for the most part, I wasn't too impressed with the Sims elements. If you've played SimCity for the Super Nintendo, it's virtually the same thing, minus the nude flying angel around. The only village that sticks out design-wise would be Northwall. Now, lucky for us, this game does have much more to offer. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the action stages, of course. This game's foregrounds are spectacular, to say the least. Take Bloodpool, for instance. Working your way across the collapsing bridges is a thrill, and the poison waters both underneath and in the background are a constant reminder to the player that this stage looks great. I mean, look at that background! Super Castlevania 4 should be jealous of this game's backgrounds alone. Amazing. Simply amazing. Look at the attention to detail that was put into this game. Most people always have high praise for the action stages in this game, and I'm prone to agree with them 100%. For years, I've heard why so many people say they love the desert stages. Inside the Great Pyramid, you have, of course, the golden Anubis statues in the background, the many floating platforms, the death traps, and the detail of the carvings inside the pyramid and the walkway. Now, the mountain stages with the moving black clouds, the reddish color to the mountaintops, and the evil mist in the background, it gives the player this feeling that there's no hope amongst all this decay and death. Then to top all the hopelessness off, you have an active volcano to navigate through. Awesome! After exiting the volcano, you have a vast, serene waterfall to pass by. Well, it's about time I told you what my favorite design worlds are in this game. I really like the lava stages. I like the kind of Mayan levels where they're pretty fun to explore with the rushing waters and the booby traps. Still, I think that North Wall's action stages are what takes the cake. The level is no way a walk in the park, but its peaceful white snow and moving background is something to behold. It just is a well-made level, and I mean, just look at all the snow. It's just a beautiful level. Playing the level, you get the sense that, okay, this is a very desolate and cold place. Memory. Believe it or not, I hated this game when I first played it in '91. It's true. When I was a kid, Friday night was not just TGIF, but also movie rental night. In the Valley, we had this small laundromat/video rental store called Mr. Pete's. Now, Mr. Pete had video games too, and for really cheap. You could rent NES games from 25 to 50 cents, and SNES and Genesis games for $1 or $2. Now, I don't remember what movie my family rented, but I know that I rented 3 games: The Uncanny X-Men, ActRaiser, and Metal Gear. When I got home, I first played ActRaiser because it looked really cool. I mean, to an 8-year-old, it looked like a night game, and I loved nights! However, after beating the first boss, the cool levels vanished, and instead there was this little angel guy telling me what I needed to do. So after a half hour or so of not getting the game, I asked my dad for help, and he said, try another game. So the next game I tried was Uncanny X-Men, and I hated that more! So then I popped in Metal Gear and played for 10 minutes and ended up throwing my controller up against a wall. Ah, memories. Time for the music and sound for this game. For as long as I can remember, my fans have always been asking me, when are you going to talk about the game's music? That's what this segment is all about. Now, I did enjoy the music for this game, and I thought it worked really well for this type of game. I also like that the composer of Streets of Rage composed the music for ActRaiser too. Time for the history for this game.